What's happening, YouTube? It's Simon 466 Cards, and today it's going to be a bit of a different episode for me. Today, we're going to highlight who I consider to be one of the good guys in the hobby. We always hear about the bad people and shady people in the hobby, whether it be scammers or things like the backyard break situation. And obviously, that draws a lot of attention, but it's a lot of negative attention. So, I want to flip the script and highlight someone who I think is one of the nice guys and good guys in the hobby. And it all starts, though, with a pretty nasty incident. It is the Philippines Australia basketball brawl. It's big enough that it has its own Wikipedia page. Basically, this massive brawl breaks out. The game is abandoned because there's not enough players from the Philippine side to dress because they've all been ejected from the game. And I'm going to show you how crazy this is. It's about a minute long. If you've seen the Malice at the Palace, this is right up there. And it is so violent that when you play it on YouTube, it gives you a discretionary warning here, as you can see. So I'm going to play it and I will narrate to the best of my ability, but it is some wild stuff. So here we go. So it starts off here, almost an elbow. Watch this guy here, boom, retaliation, boom, and then off to the races we go, jumping at that guy. This guy, watch, this is Thon Maker, if you remember him. He throws a flying kick here. Here he goes, another flying knee there. Meanwhile, there's a guy getting pounded on over here. More on that in a little bit. And then now, like, just swings going after this guy. Right, we've calmed this down, right? It's all over. Everybody's calmed down. It's only been 30 seconds. Oh, that's not good. That's not good. Something's going on over here. Everybody's sprinting over here. And if we take a look, we zoom in now. Fans are in. Let's now keep an eye on this guy who has a chair, and you guessed it, boom, right there. He's just got a chair to the dome, and it is just absolute chaos. Here's the guy that got domed by that chair. And yeah, this is, like I said, this is just a minute long, but it's absolute chaos. They're saying now bottles are being thrown on the court at this time. Just absolute chaos. So that's the incident. And I mean, what you just saw there speaks for itself. But there's one particular incident. Remember when I mentioned that there was a brawl over here? Remember this? Where they zoomed in here. Well, here is a slow-mo of that later on in this video. Let me play this for you. It ends up being like a ground and pound UFC style from that guy here. Let me play that for you again. Here we go. Look at this guy just ground and pound, like boom, boom, boom. This is insane, right? And this is right before the chair throwing incident. But you're probably wondering, Simon, why are you telling me all this? What does it have to do with the hobby? This is a random basketball game from 2019, 2018 between Australia and the Philippines. What does that have to do with the hobby? Well, let's zoom in on that brawl, right? Remember when the folks were starting to congregate over here? Who is this guy? Does this guy look familiar to you? And if we go here, does this guy look familiar to you? Standing over an Australian player on the Philippine side. In fact, that is Troy Reich, aka Trike from Trike Sportscards in the hobby. And so if we go to this article in The Athletic, one of the main boosters of the Filipino national team says this guy basically saved our country. That might be a bit of a hyperbole during this brawl, but what he's doing here is he saw that guy getting grounded and pounded, and he, let's see here, like when we saw this situation, he came in to break this up to prevent this guy from getting the absolute snot beat out of him, because it was like 6-on-1. And this picture shows him pushing everybody off of him so that this Australian dude doesn't basically get annihilated by 8, 10 people. And the thing is, he's on the Australian national team. He's not on the he's on the Filipino national team, not on the Australian team. But what he did is he saw a guy get the snot kicked out of him in a brawl and decided to come in and like help him and push everybody off. And that's why the one of the Filipino boosters says he saved our country by this heroic, noble act. And as a result of that, if we scroll down here, the Filipino booster here awarded him, Troy, 100,000 Filipino pesos. And so if you're like, well, this guy's done amazing. He's like he's trying to save someone on the other team from getting beaten up. But on top of that, he's getting an award, like well deserved. Well, turns out there's more to it. He's like, I don't want this money. This money shouldn't be for me. And he ends up donating the money 50-50 split between the Philippines and Australia to 2 charities. And and here's a picture of him, Troy here, receiving the award from the booster, Ronald Mascarenas, I guess is his name. And then he donates the money to charity. I only found out about this because Troy, or Trike, however you want to call him, was on the Jeff Wilson podcast, and he just casually mentioned the brawl. So I'm going to play this clip for you right here.
Bunch of crazy stuff happened. I don't know if you've ever seen the Australia-Philippines fight. Have you ever seen clips of that? I'll have to send you a link or something. It was crazy. Thon Maker was throwing flying kicks, and Matthew Dellavedova, people were throwing chairs from the audience. It's a crazy thing, but I played in that game, ended up playing 4 years over there professional.
That's why I found out about this brawl, not because of anything else other than he mentioned a brawl, and I'll be honest, I love a good basketball brawl. I will Google that, and he said there was a clip available, so that's why I looked it up. Notice though that he doesn't mention, oh, by the way, I was basically crowned a national hero, and I got an award from our booster for the Filipino team, etc., etc. He stays very humble, doesn't mention that. Just like, this crazy brawl happened, you'll never believe it if you see the clips. And so if I take a step back again to the original point of this video, this seems pretty clear. He's a humble dude. He seems like a great guy. Seems like a very noble guy, based off of what we've just seen here. And so I just want to highlight someone who I think is a nice guy in the hobby, because we sure hear a lot about all the negative, shady characters in the hobby, the bad people in the hobby. So this is my way of just talking a little bit more positively about people in the hobby. So shout out to Troy. I don't know Troy. I've never met him. I've seen him at a couple of shows just because he's 6'7", I believe, and so it's kind of hard to miss him. But if I do ever meet him, I have a lot of questions about this brawl. And so I guess I'll end up by saying, is he the nicest guy in the hobby? I don't know, but if not the nicest guy in the hobby, he's got to be one of the nicest guys in the hobby based on what we've seen here. But also, probably most likely, the nicest content creator that exists in the hobby today. What do you think? Have you ever dealt with Troy? Let me know in the comment section down below. But based off of everything I've seen from him, both this interview, obviously his actions, and some of his content, he seems like a genuine nice guy. So just wanted to shine a light on him. Thank you as always for listening and watching. I'll talk to you all soon. Cheers.